Hi guys, I know the headline on the video title is very different to what you're looking at right now, but we'll get to that in a sec, okay? We'll get to that in a sec, and there's a reason I'm talking about this one first. But before I get to that, please click the link down below, go to my second channel, DinoBane Daily, can't even say it, and subscribe to that channel. It gives me another outlet. It helps me combat the shadow banning that happens on this channel. The Eye of Sauron is on this one right now. So I'm going to start uploading to the other one. I'm still going to upload to this one, but the other one's going to get more views. The other one's going to get more traction until they get the attention on that one as well. And then I'll make another channel. We'll keep going. We'll just keep going. We'll just keep going, making new channels everywhere. We'll see if that works. It's not fair. It's not right, but we have to do it to get the voice out there, guys. We have to keep making these channels. I have to keep making these channels to be able to get the voice out there that isn't out there. The voice of the people, the voice of the working man, because it's often not heard by anyone. So please help the channel by going down below, subscribing to this one if you want, but also please go to the other channel and subscribe to that as well. I do appreciate it. It is a pain in the ass, but really I do massively appreciate it. Let's get back to this. So you might have saw the video title. We're going to get to that. Let's talk about this first. MP blasts police response after Amazon driver walks into his Essex home and says, "It's not good enough." The reason I want to talk about this one first is because it reminds me of the Great Stink. Now, the Great Stink was something that happened in London long before we had sewer systems that would allow us to get rid of all the detritus that we would throw into the streets. And we used to throw our refuse into the River Thames. And it got to a point where it was so bad. And this is, by the way, after hundreds of thousands, well, thousands of people, I would say hundreds of thousands is probably an exaggeration, but thousands of people had died of cholera and all sorts of diseases. The Black Death swept through London. It wasn't really tackled until the MPs in Westminster found it a little bit annoying. They were like, what's that stinky stick? I don't like that. Let's create a sewer system that will get rid of it. And that helped everyone, right? But it was only until the MPs were inconvenienced that they decided to do something. I feel like this is kind of similar. So this MP had this migrant, if I can show you, you can see this now, try to get into his house. Look at him trying to get in through the door. Now, the MP, luckily, was there, and it wasn't his wife, it wasn't his daughter or something like this. God knows what would have happened if it wasn't him that was answering the door. That guy was determined to get in. For whatever reason, that guy wanted in his house. Should he be in this country? No! No, he shouldn't. But anyway, let's get back to this. MP, blast response, yeah, Amazon driver wasn't in the house, not good enough. Let's listen to what he says. I don't like the fact that everyone's smiling in these videos.
You must have been incredibly surprised when the door just opened and this man walked in. What was your response?
Whoa is the quick and short answer to that. Thank you very much for having me on your show this morning. It's frightening. What you do not expect to see bursting through your front door is a grown man that you've never seen before. I had three...
Oh, you're not allowed to show his face. You're not allowed to show his face, guys. You're not allowed to show his face. Look at his face. Look at his face, everyone.
Of my young children on the living room floor, just feet behind me. And if I'd have been somewhere else, you know, who knows really what the next actions would have been. So deeply frightening and certainly something that needs looking at from my position as a parliamentarian on how we can improve things for the whole country.
There we go.
Yeah, James.
It's inconvenienced the MP, so now they're going to step up and say, oh yeah, actually it's inconvenienced me, I need to do something to help the country.
Many people will be asking about your security arrangements here because you are a member of Parliament, and you know the ability for someone just to be able to barge in your front door like this should be very worrying. Are you speaking to parliamentary authorities about this too?
Yeah, so I do want to be slightly cautious with what I say here. I do have some extremely effective deterrents in place, and I do have a lot of security. The trouble with a lot of those things is they...
Why? Why do you need that? You didn't need that before. When I was growing up, you could leave the door unlocked and you would not be accosted. No, people wouldn't be walking into your house. They certainly wouldn't be a bunch of foreigners walking into your house. The worst thing that ever happened to anyone on my street growing up was their bike got nicked. That's it.
are almost sort of the nuclear option. And what I had here was a man, frankly, completely surprised me. It's very fortunate that I was in absolutely the right place at the absolutely the right time. And I, by my presence, managed to get him out of my home very quickly. Now, I could have used some of those measures, which would have brought a lot of police to me immediately. But because I was able to get the door closed and lock it, I was able to take a few minutes to decide whether that was fully appropriate. Obviously, I rang 999. Obviously, I explained the situation to them. But I think what's really exacerbated this and forced me to look at this from a more strategic position.
I'd have used your panic button. I'd have used your panic. Like I'm assuming he's talking about some kind of MP special red panic button or something, like a Batman signal, right? I'd have pressed it so the police could get there and get that guy. Calling 999. Okay, we'll send an officer, and 3 weeks later you're still waiting.
In terms of how we deal with this for everyone in the country is their response. And I will stress, I'm not someone who takes any pleasure from bad-mouthing our frontline services. These guys really do some heroic work. But I think the response yesterday was somewhat lacking. There's a grown man has entered someone's home. Now, there is a lot of legality around intent, and that is probably the crucial point that the police would focus on. But of course, they're just making assumptions, and that's really where this falls down. We've got a member of parliament, a grown man has stormed into his house, and their answer was, oh, it's a civil matter. No. And
So there you go. The police actually refused to engage in this because it was a civil matter. They were like, okay, well, there was no crime committed, therefore we don't need to be there. Just because he tried to enter your home, it doesn't mean that he wanted to murder you and your family. If he actually attempted to murder you and your family, then we'd turn up, but not until then. He has to actually start the stabby stuff first. And the reason I'm talking about this, guys, is because no one's mentioning this. Lovely girl, 17, stabbed to death as her baby brother hid under his bed. This is what happens when they get into your house. This is what happens when the intent is there and there isn't a grown man to stop them. Let's read this. A lovely, bubbly teenage girl stabbed to death in her own bedroom while her mum was at home has been named as Lainey Williams. The 17-year-old was at home with her family when she was attacked on Thursday morning, with her mother, Rianne, telling her son to hide under his bed to avoid being hurt. Armed police were called to the family home in Sefnham Forest near Blackwood, South Wales, shortly after 7 a.m. yesterday. Yesterday, guys. This is not on the news, right? The MP, that's all over the news. This poor 17-year-old girl, nothing, silence. The teenager was found lying in a pool of blood and was pronounced dead at the scene. Her mother, 38, Rianne Stevens, was also injured in the attack and was airlifted to hospital. The 18-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of murder and attempted murder. Lainey's grandfather told the Daily Mail the alleged killer was seen outside the house, shirtless, at 5:30 a.m. and waited for Rianne's boyfriend to leave for work before entering through an open door. This is exactly what that MP exactly what that MP is talking about. This almost happened to him. There wasn't a guy to protect this girl. There wasn't a grown man to stop this man entering her house and stabbing her to death. Yet, the media's concentrating on this MP and not the actual crime. This is why the police are a joke. They are a joke. They'd have said, if she wasn't murdered, right, and that guy just walked in, sat down, then walked back out again, it's just a civil matter. It's only when they start stabbing people that it becomes real. This is not good, guys. The police are not protecting us. Our government is not protecting us. These people shouldn't be here. I am guessing that this guy is not British. Lainey's brother, Carter, came out of his room and told Rianne, and Rianne told him to get back and hide under the bed. Her great-grandmother, Florence Jones, 78, said, I'm in total shock. She was a lovely, bubbly girl. She lived with me for the last few years. I can't believe what's happened. Things like this don't happen in our family. They shouldn't happen to anyone, guys. The government is doing this to us. The government is betraying their contract. The government are representing the people and they're supposed to protect us. That is their main goal as government, right? We give them money and they're supposed to protect us. They're not doing their job. This is an illegitimate government. Illegitimate. Neighbours described being awoken by sirens, helicopters and banging doors when squads, including firearm officers, arrived at the scene too late. Tributes to the girl began to pour in on Thursday night. RRP, sweetheart, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I just can't believe this, guys. The police will not protect you unless they start attacking you, unless it's too late. This 17-year-old girl should not be dead. She should not be dead. These people should not be in this country. They should not be allowed to just walk through your front fucking door and stab you to death in your bedroom. What is this country coming to? We're represented by psychopaths. All the while, people will say, well, actually, immigration is our country's greatest strength.
Multiculturalism is the greatest thing that this city has to offer.
No, it's not, guys. No, it's not. Immigration is causing death and carnage across this country, and it's out of control. It is out of control. This is happening every single day. These people know they can walk into your house. Do you think the migrants don't speak to each other? I've seen so many incidents now of migrants walking into people's houses and then they just walk back out again before the police are called. And then the police get there. Well, it's just a civil matter. You know, you've got to deal with this yourself. It's a civil matter until someone gets stabbed to death. Another innocent life has been lost because of the duplicity and the absolute ignorance of this country, this government, to solve the problems that they've created. They'll call you a racist. They'll call you a xenophobe, an Islamophobe. They'll call you all the words under the sun to shut you up for the sake of diversity, while children are being murdered in their fucking bedrooms. I am at boiling point, guys. I can't do this anymore. How can we live under this tyrannical government? I'm not a hateful guy, but I hate the government. I hate them. I hate them with a passion. The MP that I just spoke about, I hope that's a wake-up call for him, because that's how people have to live across this country, in fear of people just turning up and deciding that they shouldn't be alive anymore. I hope this is our version of the Great Stink and something finally happens. Something is finally done and we start deporting these third world, low IQ, inbred pieces of shit. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I am pissed. See you later.